Alright, next I'm going to skip down to this main area of the Microsoft Excel window. Now if you remember from using Microsoft Word, when you opened up a new document, the new document was basically a blank area, a blank sheet of paper. Well, a blank Excel workbook or worksheet consists of a grid of columns and rows. So in Excel, you have columns going down and then rows going across. The columns are labeled with letters, so the columns start with A, go up through the alphabet, and can continue on almost to infinity or until your computer runs out of memory by just adding an extra letter. Most of the time you won't have spreadsheets that are quite that large. But columns are labeled with letters. Rows are labeled with numbers. Same thing, you can keep scrolling down and it will keep counting up the row numbers. Of course, where the columns and rows intersect, it's a box. And this box has a name. It's called a cell. And the cell is just an intersection of a column and row, and it's a container. And it can contain different kinds of information, the data that you're going to use in your Excel spreadsheet. It can contain just plain text, which you would use as labels to label different parts of your spreadsheet. So it can be anything from income or total, so words that will help you describe objects or data in your spreadsheet. It could also have numbers in it, because the spreadsheet's primary function is to do calculations with numbers, so they of course can contain numbers, and also different other kinds of data like dates or times or other certain kinds of numbers like currency or percentages. But it's important to know that those are contained within a cell. That intersection of the column and row is the cell. Whenever you click around on the spreadsheet, you'll notice that the cell is selected. It has a dark box around it. You can see the column and the row are highlighted in yellow. And up here in the corner, it actually tells you the name of the cell, which is indicated by the column letter and the row number. So the current cell that's highlighted is cell F4. And you know that because it's in the name box. If I click on another cell, cell C5, it puts the name of that cell in the name box. These cell names will become important later when we start to use the functions of Microsoft Excel and build formulas to do calculations. When you're typing information into a cell, it appears in the cell itself, but also in this area up here. And this area, this long kind of editing box up here, is called the formula bar. And the formula bar will be used to put formulas in when you eventually do calculations on information in the cells. But it's also where you can edit anything that's in a cell. So you've got your insertion point, your blinking cursor. You can click around up here. You can delete things. You can make changes, and all of that is done in this formula bar. This is also where you'll enter formulas in cells. And it's important to note that when you're entering information into a cell and you're working in this formula bar, the information isn't committed to the cell, and some of your menus may not be completely active until you press the Enter key, which solidifies it. Sets the information in that cell, and now it's all finished with your editing. So that's the formula bar.